The Pentagon is under intense scrutiny and pressure over the Navy's choice of a drag queen campaign to try to bring in fresh recruits. Just last March, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said this in testimony.
Nellis Air Force Base, you had the Drag You Nellis on June 17th. Who funded these things, Mr. Secretary?
Listen, drag shows are not something that the Department of Defense supports or funds.
Oh, does that mean they don't care what he says? Because they're doing it. Republican Congressman Jim Banks demanding answers now. In a letter to Secretary Austin, he's asking, given your contradictory testimony, were you aware of the Navy's Digital Ambassador program when you testified that the Department of Defense does not support drag shows? Senator Tom Cotton, an Army veteran, says this.
The Navy, like most of our services under President Biden, face a recruiting crisis. But using a drag queen ambassador is not a solution to that crisis, is an example of a major cause of the crisis. Young Americans join the military because they want to serve our nation. They join to become warriors. They don't join to become social justice warriors.
Well, all the backlash summed up in these op-ed headlines. Going woke won't fix the military's recruitment problem. Another, Navy's drag queen is symbol of cultural narcissism. And this, the U.S. Navy's Bud Light moment. Marc Thiessen, former White House speechwriter for George W. Bush, and Patrick Murphy, former Democratic congressman and Iraq War veteran. Great to see you both. Congressman, I'm going to start with you. You served. What do you say about a program that is using drag queens to try to recruit?
Well, Harris, first, thanks for having me on. This is a good news, bad news story. The good news is that, as you just reported in the last segment, there's 12.7 new jobs in America the last 2 years. The bad news is we are hurting. We are tens of thousands short in warriors joining our military. It's been going on year after year after year in the Trump administration and now in the Biden administration. When our economy is going better, it is harder to recruit. And the Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines,
Are you going to get to the drag queen part?
Well, they're recruiting everywhere, Harris. They're going to churches,
so you
gyms,
served.
LGBTQ.
And first of all, thank you for your service. You served in Iraq. You see anybody on the battlefield dressed in smoky eye and lipstick and a beautiful dress? Because they'll shoot that person first because they're not in camo. Seriously. Is this how you get more people to join?
In the military, we just said, ruck up and shut up.
There you go.
In your own time,
okay.
You be you. You be you. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
But you got to be you in camo.
Right. But we're not talking. But people are getting all fired up about what this guy's doing on his private time. This Navy yeoman.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Secretary Austin even was asked about this. I mean, come on. If it were just his private time, don't you think the secretary would have said, "Oh, I don't know what these people do in their private time"? That's not what he said. Mark.
No, 100%. Look, this is just like the Bud Light controversy, except for one big difference. Our national security isn't hurt if Bud Light blows itself up. Our national security is hurt if the Pentagon's recruiting efforts fail. You know, the Army missed its recruiting goals last year by 25%, and they're on track to be short by 21,000 recruits this year. 4 of the 5 military branches are short. Are expected to be short this year of their recruiting goals. That's a national security crisis. And the reason why Bud Light failed so badly is because they had contempt for their audience. They wanted to get rid of their fratty brand and elevate their brand. The Pentagon's doing the same thing with the military. People don't join the military to express their individualism. They join the military to subsume their individualism and serve a cause larger than themselves. Like when you go to basic training, you're not expressing your individualism. They're breaking down the individual and turning him into part of a unit that's willing to sacrifice everything for the brothers in arms. So appealing to somebody's expressing their individualism, putting aside what you think of drag queens, is not the way to recruit people. You want to recruit people who want to sacrifice, who are patriotic, who want to serve their country. Those are the things you appeal to, not to this expression of individualism.
Wow. And Congressman, I saw you nodding because you remember that.
Mark,
you remember
listen,
recruitment because it happened to you.
I do.
All right. We got to move to this, and I'll bring you back. We got to move to this. An incumbent president is usually a lock for his party's nomination, but President Biden already faces 2 primary challengers, and their percentages are kind of an interesting situation. One Democratic strategist warns his path to the nomination is not so clear. Let's watch.
History suggests that any time an incumbent president is challenged in the primaries, whether it be Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush, they tend to be weakened for the general election. So I don't believe that Joe Biden is out of the woods, because I think there'll be a protest vote.
The latest Fox polling, as you saw, shows challenger Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with 19% support among Democratic primary voters. Self-help author Marianne Williamson at 9%. Combine that for 28% of the voters at this point. I mean, you inch up a little bit more and you're going to be right at a third. As of now, the DNC has no plans to hold primary debates. Podcast host Joe Rogan, one of many to slam that decision. Let's watch.
How are we going to get a better Democrat if you don't let the president debate? So they won't let him debate because Robert Kennedy Jr. and what is that other woman's name? Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson, apparently they're both promising candidates for the Democratic Party, but they won't let him debate before the primaries. So it's like, that's not that Democratic.
Joe Rogan couldn't remember her name. But look, you got a Kennedy in the race. I don't know that you ignore that, Congressman Murphy.
Well, first off, Donald Trump, the president, said he wasn't going to debate until the general as well in the primary. But so, with all due respect to Joe Rogan, and there should be debates. But
wait a minute. Did you just call Donald Trump the president? No. He's former, and the current president won't debate. I mean, imagine when those two men, if they are the nominees, get together. I mean, at least Donald Trump is out on the trail. He's getting he's getting a workout right now with voters. Where's Joe Biden?
But Harris, he said he wasn't going to debate in the primary, in the Republican primary this cycle.
Okay, so you went to Trump instead of Biden, Mark.
No.
Think about this.
Listen, okay, sure.
So think about this. Robert F. Kennedy, other than having a famous name, is an absolute nobody. He's never held elective office. He's never.
So do you give him a pass so he doesn't have to debate the president?
No. But my point is that he's a radical environmental activist who's never held elective office, and he's polling at 19%. 19%. He has a larger percentage of the vote than every one of the Republican contenders except for Trump and DeSantis. I mean, what does that say about Joe Biden? Imagine if a real candidate got in the race and tried to challenge him. Look, Joe Biden is 68% of the country say he's too old to be president. They're right. He's going to get into a debate with Robert F. Kennedy, and then Kennedy's going to say, "What country were you in last week?" And he won't remember Ireland.
Oh, yeah. Can't even make that up. All right. Congressman, I want to come back to you and give you a chance to respond to any of that.
I think Joe Biden has been the underdog this whole time, and I think they didn't expect him
He's the incumbent.
Be the nominee. Yeah, but they didn't expect him to win last time. Then they didn't expect him to get the bipartisan infrastructure bill done, and now they're still knocking him down. Even Harris, even today,
to veto it.
we have 250,000. We have 250,000 new jobs for the 13th straight month. The economic Wall Street guys has said, "Oh, it's gonna be lower. It's gonna be lower," and he's gotten higher. 12.7 new jobs in 2 years.
You know what?
The guy, all he does is win.
I want you to know this number because it really matters. Because someone's got to talk to people who don't have a lot. If there are more jobs and people are working them, it means that their paycheck doesn't cover as much because of the high inflation. And if there's a $400 emergency, they break. That's not good enough.
Yeah.
We have to break. Thank you to you both. Outnumbered next.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.